So thank you so much for introduction. Just very quickly, I can't see you properly, but who doesn't know me, I'm Nikki, a lead product manager at Appfire on the Agile category, and I'll be talking about how community building can help you grow your product and your brand as well. So in my previous life, which is just around 1 year ago, I was one of the founders of Jexo, which was a gold Atlassian marketplace partner that was recently acquired by Appfire. And we were obsessed about growth marketing and community building as well. We run a lot of community initiatives and join a lot of community initiatives at Atlassian. And some of them were really good, some of them failed, that happens. So for example, one of the biggest community initiatives that we were running was PM72 Summit, which many of you partners here joined as well. So thank you so much for the support there. It was basically online project management conference with the main focus to help raise funds for the Malala Fund charity. So we also created kind of like a content library of project management talks and Atlassian talks, and it was, I would say, very successful. But besides all of this, it also helped us grow our brand in terms of in the project management space in Atlassian. And we also seen quite a good results in our social media following and YouTube following. So after the event, we actually increased the following on our accounts by 85%, which was quite significant. So I do believe that community building really helps you grow brand and the business and open new opportunities. And what I would love you to do after this talk is to try figure out how to find and create your own community initiative as well. But I know what you're going to say. Where is the ROI? How are we going to measure the ROI, right? So I know that community engagement in general gets deprioritized because it's much harder to measure how it's going to impact your business, like how are you getting installations from that, right? It's not like paid advertising when you can measure the clicks. But there are some like key things that you can get out of community building and engagement, which is growing brand awareness, generating the leads, of course, and also retaining the customers. So how? Well, it's quite easy, but it takes time, right? The main reason you should try the community building and engagement is because it helps you create the brand advocates, basically your super fans. And these people will then help you create the best marketing channel of them all, which is word of mouth. They're going to talk about you. So I will give you an example from my own life, but outside Atlassian. Yeah. So we had quite small marketing team. It was just like a few people there, so I needed to step in and do some SEO optimization. So yeah, let's learn SEO, right? Why not? Founders do that all the time. Long story short, I was looking for the SEO and keyword research tools. Now I researched the whole market, but there was one brand that was like, yeah, let's pick this one. It's great. I made all the points why we should use it. I made our whole team used it, and we used it for years. If you ask me, Nikki, what SEO tool should I use? I will tell you that one. I'm super fan, right? Why? Because I liked the brand. And they also had a corgi on their website everywhere, and I like the dogs, of course. So the point is, people, especially like me and you, even analytical people like us, like to think that we make very rational decisions. But what often happens is that we make irrational decisions, and we make so many rational points to kind of like make ourselves believe that that's the best decision we can make. And that's why community building and the brand presence is super important, because it helps people being like hooked to your product and to your brand. So Atlassian actually makes it super easy for us, for partners, because there's already engaged community. You don't need to start from zero. There are so many Atlassian superfans that you can tap into, and there are great candidates to actually become your superfan as well. There are 85,000 average daily visitors in 2021 on the Atlassian community. That's a huge like attention pie that you can get at least a little bit slice of, and you're going to see the results. But how are we going to go about it? It sounds like a big task, right? So if something is big, I like to just break it into the few steps. So here is a template. Basically, first step is to join the community, understand the community and how it behaves, and make those first initial connections. Then you want to join already existing initiatives, support others, and deepen those connections. And then in the end, you can start creating something of your own. Definitely not skip 1 and 2. Don't just like jump and like, here is my initiative. That wouldn't really work because people don't know you. And you need that community behind you to join you along the way and help you make your initiative successful. So to build the presence, you need to first engage, join the discussion forums. Actually, my favorite discussion channel on the community is a welcome group. So you can see there on weekly basis like threads being posted related either to Atlassian products, to your work, or even outside, and you can really meet there people from the community and make those first initial connections. I would recommend definitely going there like daily or at least weekly for at least a month for this initial phase. And there is a rule. In this first step, never talk about your product. Don't just like jump in and like, hey, I'm going to sell you something. No, you are there and your goal is to create a connection and meet people. They need to learn about you. Now, make sure that when you're joining, you're being helpful, you're not spamming anything, and you're basically talking to people, you're being super helpful, and you're being real with them. Make your personality show. Everyone's gonna love it. So the step 2, after you joined, it might be hard to get engagement on your posts or on your discussion threads in the beginning. So just start joining the other people's posts and other people's initiatives. One of my favorite ones is a Kudos program, which is basically this like a gamified way to join the community. You're basically collecting the points and the badges for the different activities. You can write an article, you can join some thread, you like something, share on social media, and you're going to get the points for that. Now, the good thing about that is that with this Kudos program, you are basically going to tap into the different corners of the community and understand it a little bit better, and also meet a lot of different people. Now, there are also initiatives that are more focused on the partner side that you can find on the App Central group. So for example, as we all know, there is a Apptoberfest, our favorite one, right? So that one is running in October. There were also Appy Hours, which was the contest for the best demo. These are all great. But what we learned was if you join these initiatives early, be one of the first vendors, then you're going to get much more attention from that. So for example, when we were joining Appy Hours, we were actually one of the first vendors who was joining this initiative. And we've seen a lot of community leaders and community members joining those demos and be like very engaged with it, and also sharing on the social media. So definitely being one of the first joining this initiative is going to pay off because community is very curious space and they want to just see something new as well. So for that, actually, you should watch the App Central group and the Kudos and Contest group, and new initiatives are being posted there. Not all the time, but sometimes. Okay, you're engaged, you have your connections in the community, you have your friends there. Now it's time to create something of your own, some your initiative. So I'm a product manager, so this kind of looks like I would be researching, like doing initial research for the product, but I think it's quite accurate for the creating and researching of your initiatives as well for the community. So the thing here is, first you need to figure out what your goal is, what you are trying to achieve. Are you trying to increase the brand awareness or chances to get a partnership? Are you trying to deepen your connections with Atlassian, or do you want maybe more installations for your app? I don't know. Then you need to define your target audience, so who they are. Is it are these like Atlassian users? Maybe can you be more specific? Administrators, product managers, software engineers, and so on. Or it can be solution partners, marketplace partners, Atlassian, and so on, or even outside. And then once you're specific and you know who your audience is, then you can figure out what they are craving. What they like to do? Is there something in their day-to-day job that they're struggling with? And then once you're clear on this, you can figure out who your competition is. And you can see what they are doing right, if there is something that can be improved, and so on. Oh, I skipped a slide. Sorry. So before I move to the next one, to the example, I just wanted to tell you that it's also important to be agile with this. So it might happen that like you launch the initiative and it might not work immediately. So definitely make sure that you listen to the feedback and you're implementing that feedback. And also don't be afraid to kill an idea. Like it's okay to fail. It happened to us so many times. We run so many initiatives. Oh my gosh. But it is okay. Just measure things, and if you see something's not working, just get rid of it. You will have energy to do something better next time. So I'll give you an example of Monday Coffee, top secret stuff here. So the goal of Monday Coffee that we started almost 3 years ago now was to increase the brand awareness. So at the time, no one really knew who Jexo was, like a completely new vendor. Why should we care? We also didn't really have any kind of like connections to the partners in the Atlassian ecosystem, so we wanted to get more partnerships. But no one wanted to talk to us. That was a problem. So we came up with an idea of Monday Coffee. Anyways, our target audience was, as you can see, solution partners, because we wanted to get the partnerships, and Atlassian community leaders, because these are super fans of Atlassian, and they're like a good audience to start with, basically. And when we were looking at this audience, we noticed that they have one thing in common, which is they need to stay up to date with what's going on in the Atlassian ecosystem. And the problem was that the information was widespread. So our competition basically were release notes from Atlassian, Atlassian user group, Atlassian user community, Atlassian partner community, different newsletters that are coming from Atlassian from different products, blog, and so on. So the information was just spread. And what was happening to those community leaders and solution partners was that they just spent like hours and hours like trying to figure out what changed, like what and the problem there was like if they didn't, then they just didn't know what was happening and they figured out too late, right? So the problem was there and it was real. So what we came up with was this like a short format of like 10 to 15 minutes video every week. What changed in the Atlassian ecosystem? We also added a newsletter on top of it if you didn't want to watch video, because not everyone likes videos, right? And it worked. Now you're like, okay, great, Nikki, but like we cannot do another Monday Coffee, right? I'm sure that you can come up with many, many other ideas. Now, here are some brainstorming tips. I'm actually coming from a software development side, so I started as a QA, and I was on my way to become a software engineer. That was my like life goal. And then Jexo happened, so I needed to learn how to do marketing and how to come up with the marketing initiatives as well. So here are some brainstorming tips that work for me, hopefully gonna work for you as well. First of all, do the research, obviously, right? So look outside what other communities are doing, what initiatives they are running, what is working for them, and how you can apply it in your community initiative as well. My favorite one is to look outside. So here is the thing. Big brands out there, especially B2C brands, so like a consumer business, they need to stay on top of the latest trends to survive because they're in an extremely competitive space. So they need to move super fast and they're trying a lot of things and you can learn a lot from them. So for example, at Jexo, what we were doing was we were looking at the brands in the fashion industry, in the beauty industry, in the gaming industry, obviously, right? And we were like picking up what was working for them, trying to apply it into our own campaigns and initiatives as well. If we would be just looking at our competition in our space, like just in Atlassian or just in tech, we would be just like recycling each other's ideas and it would be very bland. Like in the end, no one would care because everything would be same, right? And that's why it's important to look outside. Okay, sorry. And the last point, Also quite good is to look at the pop culture and entertainment industry. And with this one, I like to look at it in two ways. So one way is you can look for the trends. So that's a very, very fast changing content, but you can actually like use it to showcase your product in a more creative and fun way, and people usually care and they're like entertained by it, they just want to watch it. So for example, last year or previous years we had the Squid Games, right? Then there was a Wednesday show. This year it was Oppenheimer and Barbie, and you can just make your creative product demo. If you are one of the first to join this trend, you're definitely going to get eyeballs on this, and people are going to talk about it and you're going to watch and learn about your product a little bit more. These have a very short lifespan, so if you are late to this, just better not to do it at all. Yeah, definitely, 15 partner demos with Barbie and Oppenheimer, not good. If you like, there is also another way to do this, which is look for more like long-term initiatives. So you can be looking at maybe competition shows or news shows, talk shows, and so on. The ones that you like, pick up what's working there and apply it into your initiative. For example, Monday Coffee was inspired by a Philip DeFranco show on YouTube. I don't know if anyone knows that, but basically it's a YouTube channel where Philip DeFranco is presenting the news in a very like fast and engaging way, and you just want to watch it, and it's quite fun. So a good alternative to normal standard news. Okay, so that was for brainstorming. Now there's a secret sauce that you should never forget about, which is to make sure that you engage the people in the community and get them involved in your idea since the beginning, because they will feel like it's their own as well, and they will help you make it bigger. Try to collaborate with different partners, even your competitors. There is no competition in a community, honestly. Community leaders, Atlassian as well as outside, it will pay off, and your initiative will be much bigger and have wider spread. And before I close off, I was just thinking to like close it with kind of like a slide that you can take a picture of later. But let's talk about the KPI, so how you can measure impact of your initiatives. So I split it on the brand and on the product. These are just examples. I'm sure that you can come up with many more, or ask ChatGPT. But on the brand side, you can, for example, measure the brand awareness or brand advocate uptakes. How you can do it? You can use the social media listening tools, and you can check if there are any mentions of your brand on the internet or on the social media. You can be checking the reach or engagement on your social media posts, as well as increases in the following on your socials. In case of the partnership opportunities, you can be looking at how many partners just like message you by themselves, you or like the founder in a company, or if they are like responding to your messages, right? For example, for Monday Coffee, that was one of our KPIs. On the product side, it would really depend on what kind of metrics you're, what kind of like links you're sharing out. So I would recommend not only to share the installation link for the app, but try to create also secondary funnel. So, for example, you can be sharing links for the demo app demos, so you can be measuring how many people clicked there, or there are lead magnets that people can download, and then you can run them through your email nurture as well. So just some ideas here. And that's about it. I hope that I motivated you to join the community. I can't wait to see your initiatives popping up. If you need any help or you just want to chat, QR code hopefully works to my LinkedIn. My DMs are always open. And yeah, I'll see you in the community.